Welcome back to Montreal. It's Alex Belfield here on your favourite local radio station, and we're talking today to the big man from Air Canada. Robert Atkinson is here today to tell us why we should come to Canada. For those who have never been, what is the single main reason that we should come here?
Well, I think it's a terrific country to come to. Probably a lot of your people don't realise that in fact Canada is the second biggest country on the earth. It ranges from the Atlantic Ocean with the provinces of Newfoundland and Labrador and Nova Scotia, right the way over to the Pacific Ocean in British Columbia. So you've got Canada sandwiched between those two great oceans. But in the middle, you've got some great cities like Montreal, which is the second biggest French-speaking city in the world. And then we also have places like Toronto, which is the largest commercial part of the country. And it's also the home for Canada's flag carrier, Air Canada.
And what I've noticed more than anything about Canada generally is its visual beauty, the colours, the culture, the buildings. It really is unique, isn't it?
It certainly is. If you're going in the spring, it's a terrific time to go. If in the summer, wonderful time to go down possibly to the wine region in the Niagara Peninsula. I wonder how many people realise that Niagara is on the same latitude as Barcelona, and it's in that part of the world, great wineries, which you see in Niagara, or if you go west to British Columbia, to the Okanagan Valley, where they do some tremendous red wine in that part of the world.
And talking about times of the year, we've come at the coldest. It's not very warm, is it?
No, but a lot of people, if you're going to go shopping, and at the moment it's just about $2 to the pound, which is great value for the British traveller. And also there's some tremendous shopping opportunities. So this time of the year, when it's very cold outside, a lot of people go underground into the shopping malls downstairs beneath the surface, both in Montreal and in Toronto.
It's a very clever idea, that, and you really do need it, because when we say it's cold, it's not British cold, it's really cold.
My advice there is wrap up warmly. And if you go down the Rideau Canal in Ottawa, you can go skating, Ottawa being the national capital, just on the border between Ontario and Quebec. Then you can go skating down there. And for some people who may have seen on some of the television channels, you've got the ice highway right up in the north of the country going up in the Yukon.
So what we're saying then, if you come between, let's say, October and March, you really do need to wrap up warm. Mm-hmm. The rest of the year, it gets beautifully warm. It must be very odd to live here, because one minute you're freezing cold, the next minute you're really in glorious Barcelona weather.
I think everybody in Canada's got used to, because it is a four-season destination. If you're in, say, Vancouver or in British Columbia, it's the only place I know on earth where you can go skiing in the morning and you can go sailing at lunchtime and be on the beach in the afternoon. Now, you can't beat that, can you?
It's so culturally diverse. I don't think there's anywhere else in the world that's such a melting pot of all different cultures and social activities and things to eat and to go and see.
Absolutely. I mean, you've got obviously the French influence in the province of Quebec and also in New Brunswick. You've got a tremendous number of British people over the years who have got very strong family links in Ontario and in British Columbia and Alberta. And more recently, there were a lot of people who came over from Hong Kong and the Asian Rim countries who came to settle in Vancouver, again adding to that tremendous cultural and ethnic diversity.
Montreal itself has done so well in terms of attracting things like the Grand Prix and now has the biggest comedy festival in the world. How have they managed to achieve that? Because it's relatively small, but it's a place that is known around the world.
It's fantastic, isn't it? And more people are coming across to see for themselves just how good a time you can have there. I mean, certainly the Grand Prix has been a terrific driver for tourism. People have seen it on the television, but the comedy festivals which go on and the other outdoor activity, it's certainly in the summer, it's party time in Montreal.
And as you say, there's all different types of festivals. There's jazz, there's classical music. It does seem to attract everyone.
It certainly does. And for people who are interested in coming to Canada and want to do something a bit different, I can only say, do your homework in advance. Go on to the website. Go on to things like the Canadian Tourism Commission website. Go on to canada.com, where you'll find a tremendous number of major festivals, such as the Comedy Festival we've just been talking about, perhaps the Toronto Film Festival, and of course the Grand Prix.
Bob, you said something tremendous there. You said, do your research. Well, I want you to do that for me. I know we're a bit biased because we're sat here in Montreal today, but if I could go to one destination within Canada, where would it be? And don't worry, you don't have to say Quebec or Montreal.
If it was for me, I think I would be saying head off to the Rockies, fly into Calgary, pick up a car, and then head out to Banff, and then up the Icefield Parkway to Lake Louise and on to Jasper. Terrific drive, great sights, wonderful hotels, and real down-home hospitality.
And again, you talk about the scenery. That is the one thing that everybody who's been here before comes away speaking of, the fact that it is so visually stimulating.
There is just so much to see. If people want to go for the mountains and terrific ski conditions, it's if you're looking for snow, this is the place to come to, because there's oodles of it. So you can either go skiing in Alberta. We'll be gearing up in Canada for the Vancouver Winter Olympics in 2010, and a lot of that activity will be just north of Vancouver in Whistler. And then there are great skiing in Quebec in the resort of Tremblant, and of course there's skiing even in Newfoundland in Gros Morne.
Canada's got so much to offer for younger people as well, hasn't it?
It certainly is, and there are work opportunities there for people who want to drop by and on part of their gap year. And funnily enough, I was talking to a Canadian embassy official over in Sweden the other day, and he reminded me that for people under the age of 30, there is for UK and EU citizens, there is this special visitor program where you can work for up to a year, and you can apply to get a work permit for that period.
And then going back to people who come to visit generally, certainly in Montreal and Quebec, it's French-speaking in the main, but I've not had a difficulty communicating. They make you very welcome. It's not one of these places where they don't want tourists. They do actually proactively try and make you feel welcome.
Yes, and they certainly do. And I've been coming across to Montreal for many years now. But I always think it's worth having a go in French, isn't it? Give it your best shot. Un peu.
Is that right? I don't know what that means, but it was worth a try. Oh, good. I thought that's what it meant. It could have been very rude for all I know. And as in terms of the flight itself, it's not that far away because you actually fly over Canada to get to America or New York or wherever you fly into. So it's a pretty short flight.
To go to Montreal, it's just over 7 hours. If you're going to Toronto, it's 7 hours and 50 minutes. If you're going to the Foul Coast of Vancouver, it'll take you just about 10 hours. So it's not a long journey, it's what we would rate as medium.
Bob, if I can put you on the spot, just a few questions for you. If I had to see one thing when I arrive in Montreal, what would it be?
Oh, I'd go down to Place Jacques-Cartier in the old part of Montreal. Tremendous restaurants, interesting things to do.
And Quebec, if I went there, one thing to see?
If you went to see Quebec City, I would drop into the Chateau Frontenac for a drink in the bar there. Great place.
We visited that on this trip, and the splendour of it will never be recreated in 2008, will it?
I'm afraid not, no, but they knew how to build, didn't they?
Certainly on a size like no other. I don't know how to sum up Canada in a few words. I've only seen a very small part of it, having been to Quebec City and now here in Montreal. If you were to try and encourage people to come across, how would you do that?
I would say come and enjoy yourself. It's got great arts, it's got great museums, it's got great culture. It's an opportunity if you want to go out and into the wide open spaces during the day. You can come back again in the evening to the city, to the hotels, great restaurants, great theatre, great movies.
And bring some gloves and earmuffs because it's cold.
And major credit cards accepted.
Thank you very much, Bob Atkinson from Air Canada, talking to us today about why you should come here to Canada. Beautiful places, beautiful scenery, beautiful restaurants. There's no reason not to come, is there?
Absolutely not.
Bob, thank you for talking to me.
Thank you.